Uh, Welcome to all to this session on saying no to 1,000 things. Without wasting much time, we can get started. So all the material for in this presentation I have taken from this book called Innovation Secrets of Steve Jobs. It explains some of the good principles used by Steve Jobs in innovating within Apple. So I will be particularly explaining about the fifth principle. The name of that principle is saying no to 1,000 things. So we'll be focusing more on that. If you want to learn about other principles also, feel free to refer to these books. It explains every principle in much detail. So yeah, let's get started. Before that, I'll just explain the flow. It's not much important, but still, like we'll be mostly talking about Apple, how it innovates the existing products and what changes did it make, and then we will look on to some tips and tricks which we can use in our daily lives. So yeah, the story of Apple, most of us all know what is the story of Apple. It started out from a garage, then it became started innovating. It had really good products. Then at some point, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple itself. Then he started working on another company along with Pixar and stuff. So at that time, Apple was in a really bad condition when Steve Jobs got fired. It was actually going into a debt spiral. So they were making a lot of products, but the company was not growing as great. It grew when Steve Jobs were there. So I'm pretty sure most of us will be aware of that story of that Apple. So what happened is like after when the company itself realized that they are in a debt spiral, they hired Steve Jobs came back as the CEO of Apple Incorporated. So that's when Steve Jobs also identified the company's in a very bad condition. So he also started to innovate to bring back Apple in the original state it was when before he left the company. So the first thing he did was like when he was the they had a lot of products and stuff. So the first thing Steve Jobs did was to identify what does the customer wants, like what exactly should we focus on. So what he did is he just drew a four cells, and one was like what he just identified what are the products our customers will be required. So he just put the whole products in two categories, which is consumer products and professional products. So he also identified that within consumer itself people want two types of products, which could be uh, normal products, and other could be portable products. So within consumer itself the two, and similarly in professional also the normal uh, immovable products, and the other one is portable. So in that four cells, so he wanted to focus the whole company in only those four products. So that's what the main thing he did. So as I said, the company was focusing on a lot of things. They were making a lot of products. So the whole company's focus was shifting. So that was the main change Steve Jobs brought in when he came back to the company. So he, as I said, he just narrowed the focus of the company. So at that time there were 350 products, and once Steve Jobs came in, he cut all those products into 10. By 350 products, I mean different versions, series, and all this thing. So at that time, when Steve Jobs came in, he wanted the whole company to focus only on 10 products. So that's an important thing, like changing the focus. Like we need to figure out what exactly should be focusing on, rather than focusing on a lot of things. We should focus on a particular number of things, a very less number of things. Even regarding that, there is a book called Essentialism. It also focuses on almost the same ideology. You all can refer to that book also. So as I said, it's about focus. So that's how Steve Jobs started taking Apple back. So another important product in the history of Apple, which revolutionized the whole industry and which was a really great success for the Apple, was iPod. A lot of us definitely know about what iPod is. It's basically a music playing a device. So what made iPod a huge success? That's something we need to analyze. So till that time, we still had all those music players and stuff. But one important thing was it was really messy to handle that. It was a big box, and we could. It is really difficult to handle that. There were a lot of buttons, there were a lot of things to manage, and all those things. So it was a messy design. So that's what Steve Jobs identified, and he came up with this design of iPod, which is very simple. Like if you see the picture of an iPod, you can see it's a very simple product. It's just a small box. I can't even say it's a box, but still, it's a small, highly design centric device. So one important point is like it was really simple. Unlike if they even the product designers of iPod had lot of ideas to include lot of buttons for on or off button, for navigation buttons, other buttons, lot of. But at the end, what they decide is like they will include just a circle pad in that iPod. So that's what they did, focusing on simplicity and accessibility. So it is very simple product, and also it is highly accessible for the normal person, like even people who have no idea how to work on this or how to use this. Still it is intuitive, people can just understand how this thing works and they can just start working. So that is another point where we need to take care of the products we build, or in whatever, it should be very simple and it should be very accessible. Okay. Moving on to next, the another big product Apple introduced was iPhone. So it was really a revolution in the history of smartphones. So what made it that much a huge success? So till then we had a lot of phones, like had BlackBerry phones, Nokia's, which all had keypads. So so what Steve Jobs focused is like he was observing all these phones. So he figured like all this one common thing is the keypad. Every phone has this keypad. But then he identified that when we are using different applications or different things, like all the keys in this keypad are not usable, right? Only some keys we are using for this particular application, and some other we are using for something else. So that is the difference. Like that's the difference he identified. Even though there are hundreds of keys in this mobile phone, people are not using that thing. So he felt like it's an extra thing we have in the mobile phone, so why not we remove it, like make the design much simpler. Okay, having a keypad is much complex, so it's literally a waste of space and we are not using. So why not we make it much simpler using a just a touch screen. So that's how he came up with the idea of using touch screens. So from an outer perspective, he didn't do much thing. He just removed which we are not using. He made the design simple, which is uncluttered, and it was also elegant, the design of the first iPhone. So that is one important thing we need to take care, like remove all those things which we feel not needed, like we don't have to use those things. So if it is not needed, like just remove it, like make the design simple and much more easier to use. And another important thing that stands Apple apart is their ideology of software upgrades. At the time of Steve Jobs, like from his own words, he positioned Apple as a software company rather than as a hardware company. But still, they also produce great products. But when it comes to software, one important point is like there is this law where people say unless you are adding new features each upgrade of the software, people won't use it. Like to sell the new software each year, like you need to add new features, like Windows evolved from 98 to Windows 8, 10, now 11. So that's one important thing which they had in mind during the software updates. But what Steve Jobs did at that time, like he said, yeah, we won't produce new features for the next upgrade. What we will do is like we will make simple of what we have now. The software we have a particular software now. In its next update, this software will be much simpler and easy to use. Not, he didn't say it will have more number of features and you can do these things, all these things in this single one. He didn't say all those things, or he didn't do all those things. What he did is like he made the existing software much more simple and much more strong and much more easy to use. So what he did is like he just went exactly the opposite side of where the world was going. Like every software company had this ideology, like we will add new features in the next, also new features, new features, new features. So that's not what made it, Steve Jobs really, really different. He just walked the opposite of where the world was going. He just tried to make things simple and simpler. And even at that time, like one videos which went viral in YouTube and other media was a 2-year-old girl using this iPhone. So iPhone and iPad, iPod, all these devices. So it was that much simple for even a 2-year-old, which who has no idea about how this thing works. It was that much simple. Know what is the tech behind an iPod or iPad or even an iPhone, but still she's able to use it, right? So that is the simplicity of the product. So that's something we need to keep in our mind, like whenever we are designing a product or anything, like we need to make it much more simple and easy to use. And the same ideologies we can see in the website of Apple also. Even now also, if you see the website, this website is very simple. Like unlike other websites, they are not showing, yeah, this is what we do, these are these things, lot of things and stuff. It will be just simple. Like if the iPhone is launched at that time, the front page you can see in the website is iPhone, whatever the version that is, and just some explanation, not a lot of information. Like they try to keep text to a minimum and make the whole website much more elegant and simple. It's kind of minimalistic view, but yeah, we will get to that topic a bit later. Yeah, I have some points on minimalism, but still, it's even though it's minimalism, it is much simple and easier to understand for the people. So that's one important thing, like we need to take care while we design even in our websites. So as I said, we need to think of minimalism also. Like you can see, minimalism is basically using minimum number of elements, be it text, images, or anything. So the two concepts, minimalism and simplicity, those two things are different actually. So in like when we say about graphic design or even product design and everything, so less is more. People usually say that less is more. Using less number of elements, whatever it is, it will give you more effects. So that is kind of making it simple and much easier to use. But one important thing we need to keep in mind at this point is, like, simple designs are minimal. Like whatever simple designs we make, they are minimal, but minimal designs may not be simple. You getting that point? So you can make any simple designs, it will be minimal. But if you try to make minimal, it may not be simple. Like simple means easy to use, and like it should convey the audience. Like you can use less number of elements, but if the user or if the customer is not able to understand how to use this thing or how to manage these things, then it's not it is minimal, it's not simple. Okay, so we should focus on making the product much more simple. So, and you can see the goal, like at the end of the day, the total goal is to is focus, like focus on a particular things. So minimalism, like we are reducing the number of elements. Maybe we may be able to achieve focus, but not like simplicity. Like minimalism, there may be missing pieces and things. But if we make it much more simple, we are basically focusing on a particular number of things. So that will help us a lot in the long run. And another important point to note here is the number of choices. So people have conducted this study. So like they have conducted this study on a lot of people. So what they identified is, like, if a person has a large number of choices, let's say 25 or 30 choices, it's hard for him to select which choice he should take. Let's say in the other case, if he has only 5 or 6 choices, it's easy for him to select. Like we may think that the more choices our customers have, it will be easy for them to understand. Even for our website, even within our website, like we are putting a lot of tabs, we are putting a lot of options and stuff. So we think that it will help the audience to understand what these things are and all. But it basically makes the audience confused. Like they will have this decision fatigue. Like what should I choose? What is the decision I should take here? So that as the number of options increases, that decision fatigue also increases. So that is one important thing, like we need to think upon. Like in our products, we should focus on the focus is the important thing. Like focus on particular things, not everything. Try to cover only particular things. So that was the a brief overview about the Apple and Steve Jobs principles. There are a lot of other important points I have missed. It's mostly all of those are mentioned in the book itself. Like due to constraint of time, I have to skip all those points. But still, now this is a much more important part for us. Apply all these principles in our daily life. So let's say as individuals of a startup, like each of us, how can we apply this in our daily life? So the first thing we can ask ourselves is, am I focusing on, like each of us do one thing as best. Like to be honest, Homo sapiens are not made to be multitasking organisms. Like we don't have the capacity to multitask. Uh, we can only do single task. We cannot work on multiple things at the same time. So that is one important thing. Like just ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What I do best? Is that the best thing I am good at? So once you ask that question, you will get some clarity. Like in what all things I am spending my time. Is that beneficial? Like how can I make it more beneficial and things. So that is one important tactic we can use. Another important thing is the rule of three. So it's not a big thing, but still, when you get up in the early morning, like try to focus on the three things like you want to achieve in that day. Not a lot of things. Like in your timeline, you will be having a lot of things, lot of commitments and things, but just focus on the three things you will want to focus on that particular day. So, and if you take that three things, like for that three things itself, like you can make slots. Let's say for each thing, I'll allot 3 hours each, so 9 hours in total, and work as slots. Don't work on the three things at the same time. So take one thing, work on it for 3 hours, next 3 hours work on the other thing, and last 3 hours work on the final thing. Work like that. Don't work on multiple things at the same time. That's why Homo sapiens are not built to be multitaskers. And another thing is like using a simple website. That's for as our organization also. Like our website, it's basically brand. I will talk about that more detail in the next session. So start saying no more often. Like if you think this, like one thing is like we commit to a lot of projects or a lot of things because it gives us the adrenaline rush. Like if you see, if anyone takes up a project, like most likely in the start of the project, everyone will be much enthusiastic and ready to work and things. But as time goes by, the enthusiasm and the adrenaline wears off. Like the people won't be much interested. So that's what happens for every project. So that's one, because like most we are focusing on most of the things. So one drawback of that is like to get the initial adrenaline rush, we will say yes to a lot of things, a lot and lot of things. So at the end, it won't be good for us. So we need to minimalize, or we need to select only the essential things which we really want to do. So we will have to say no to all the other things. So that's the whole topic of this presentation, saying no to 1,000 things. So if you want to be a really, really great at something, you will have to say no to a lot of 1,000 other things. So as a startup, let's see how can we apply these principles. So one important question as a startup we should ask ourselves is, what should we stop doing? Like we know one thing, like we need to focus on something, right? We need to narrow our focus and focus on that thing. So maybe we not be able to answer that question much easily. So to make it easier, like we can have this question: what should we stop doing? Like what is that one or two things, other things, not one or two, maybe other thousands of things which we shouldn't do, which we are not getting enough benefits, and which are not our field. So because being a startup, like if we start focusing on a lot of things together, like we have limited resources and time, right? So it won't be good as being a startup. So we should ask ourselves that question: what should we stop doing? And another important question is like, what is the deepest reason that people buy our products? Like there will be we are all engineers, so there will be, we will say there are a lot of reasons. Like this is the best that we can build and all. But if you analyze the customers, like they will be having one deepest reason, like not because the tech is really great, but one thing, one pain point of the customer, or one gain they are getting from our product. So we need to understand what is that reason, so that we can focus more on solving that problem or pain point. And it is almost similar to the next question also, like what is the one thing our customers do come for us? And the final question is like, are we cluttered or are we clear in what we are doing? So as I said, being a startup, like we to get the initial adrenaline rush, we will start focusing on a lot of things. Like as the number of things increases, it will become cluttered. Like we won't be able to focus on the things which we should be focusing on. So that's one question. Like ask ourselves: are we cluttering all those things, and how can we focus on that one thing which really matters to us? Okay, now finally, as a brand, like how can we apply this thing? So there is this rule called 30-second rule. So it was used by a company called Flip. They were also inspired from Steve Jobs in his simplicity. So it basically says that if you give your product to someone, your customer, you give your product, and if it takes more than 30 seconds for the customer to figure out how this thing works, then your product is not good. You shouldn't go with that product. So the customer should be able to figure out how this works within the 30-second rule. So it can be applied everywhere. Anything, any application you are making, or any software you are making, any physical product you are making, just give that the product and just analyze how much time it takes for them to understand this product. So if it takes more than 30 seconds, then it means your product is not good. We need to make it much more similar. And the point is like the packaging and instructions. So if you look at Apple's iPhone package, you will see like there are a lot of unwrapping videos, like unboxing videos in YouTube for iPhone. It's because people are much enthusiastic or interested, or they are very much amazed by how Apple packs its products and stuff. So they are getting a sort of surprise within that packaging. So if you look, you can see it is a simple minimalistic design of the package also. So maybe we should also start packaging our products in a very simple package, and the instructions should be there. But as per Apple's Steve Jobs ideas, anything, I am not sure whether it's he said this, anything which needs a manual is a broken product. It's not a good product. If it requires a manual, it's not a good product. It should be that simple, like people should be able to use that without even looking at a manual. And being a brand, the website is also very much important as a brand. So we should focus on that also. We should make it much simpler. So the 30-second rule applies there also. Like let's say some customer, some person visit our website. If it takes more than 30 seconds for him to achieve his goal, like whatever he's searching for, if it takes more than 30 seconds to do whatever he's searching for, then the user journey of that website is not good. Like we will have to optimize that, we will have to change. So maybe we will have to figure out what are the type of customers and what will be they expecting from our website, and then make appropriate user journeys. And as we all know, the simple presentation. So whenever being a brand, whenever we are giving presentations, the presentation should be very much minimalistic and simple and up to point. So yeah, that's some of the points I had, some of the ideas I understood from the book. So thank you for listening to this presentation, and feel free to refer to the books and read all those principles to get more ideas.